Welcome to Learn English Fast.
Speak English with confidence.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the English Learning Podcast. My name is Henry, and I am so happy you are here with me today. In today's episode, we are going to talk about something very important for English learners: how to train your brain to think in English. Now, maybe you are asking, why should I think in English? I can just translate from my language to English. Well, here's the truth. When you always translate in your head, speaking becomes slow, listening becomes difficult, and you feel less confident. But when you start thinking directly in English, everything becomes faster and easier. You can understand better, speak more fluently, and feel more natural. In this episode, I will explain step by step how you can train your brain to think in English. I will share the reasons why learners usually translate, the benefits of thinking in English, the right mindset, and many simple daily habits you can practice. By the end of this podcast, you will know exactly how to start this journey today. So, sit back, relax, and let's begin learning together. All right, let's start with the first question. Why do learners translate in their heads? This is something almost every English learner does. And don't worry, it's very normal. When we learn a new language, our brain always wants to connect it to our first language. For example, if your first language is Spanish, Chinese, or Arabic, your brain will try to find the English word that matches your language. This is how learning begins. But here's the problem. When you translate every word, speaking becomes very slow. Imagine this. Someone asks you, "What did you eat for breakfast?" In your head, you first think in your own language, then translate it to English, then say the answer. This takes a lot of time, and sometimes you feel nervous or stuck. Another reason is that many learners are afraid of making mistakes. They want to be perfect, so they stop and translate to be correct. But this slows down fluency. Remember, mistakes are part of learning. Also, in school or traditional learning, teachers often use translation as the main method. You learn vocabulary lists like dog equals perro or book equals libro. This habit stays with you, so your brain keeps going back to your language first. So, the main reasons learners translate in their head are: it's natural for the brain to use the first language, fear of mistakes, and wanting to be correct, old habits from traditional learning. Understanding this is very important, because if you know why you translate, you can start to change the habit. And that's what we're going to talk about in the next parts: how to stop translating and start thinking directly in English. Now that we understand why learners translate in their heads, let's talk about the good news, the benefits of thinking in English. When you start thinking directly in English, you will see many positive changes in your learning. Let me share the most important ones with you. Benefit number 1: faster communication. When you think in English, you don't waste time translating. Your brain gives you the words immediately. So, when someone asks you a question, you can answer quickly and naturally. This makes conversations much smoother. Benefit number 2: better listening skills. When you listen to English, you don't have to change it into your language first. Instead, you understand the meaning directly. This helps you catch words, expressions, and even jokes more easily. Benefit number 3: more natural fluency. Fluency is not only about grammar or vocabulary, it's about speaking without too many pauses. Thinking in English helps you connect words faster, so your sentences flow more smoothly. Benefit number 4. More confidence. When you stop translating, you feel less nervous. You are not worried about being perfect. You just focus on communication. And confidence grows every time you use English directly. Let's take a small example. Imagine you see a cat on the street. If you first think gato or Katie or Billy in your language, then translate to cat, your brain is doing extra work. But if you immediately think cat, you are already living in English. This simple habit makes you faster, sharper, and more confident. So remember, thinking in English gives you speed, better listening, fluency, and confidence. And these are the keys to becoming a strong English speaker. All right, my friends, now let's talk about something very important. Your mindset. If you want to train your brain to think in English, you need to change the way you see English. Many learners see English only as a school subject, like math or history. But English is not just a subject. English is a tool. It's a way to communicate, to connect with people, and to understand the world. So here's the mindset shift. Stop translating. Start living in English. What does this mean? It means you don't wait for a classroom or a teacher to use English. You use it in your daily life. You think in English when you wake up, when you walk, when you eat, when you look around. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to practice. It also means you accept mistakes. Many learners don't think in English because they are afraid. What if I say it wrong? But remember, mistakes are not bad. Mistakes are proof that you are learning. Even native speakers make mistakes sometimes, and that's okay. Another part of this mindset shift is to focus on communication, not perfection. The goal is not to translate perfectly. The goal is to understand and to be understood. So, from today, I want you to see English as part of your daily life. Don't wait for a test or a class. Live in English, even in small ways. When you make this shift, your brain will slowly stop translating, and English will become more natural for you. Okay, now it's time for the most important part. How can you actually train your brain to think in English? The answer is daily habits. Small things you do every day can slowly change the way your brain works. Let me share some powerful habits with you. Habit number 1. Think about your day in English. When you wake up in the morning, don't just think in your language. Try to plan your day in English. For example, I will eat breakfast. Then I will go to work. Later, I will meet my friend. These simple sentences train your brain to start the day in English. Habit number 2. Talk to yourself in English. This might sound funny, but it works. You don't need a partner. You can be your own partner. While you are cooking, walking, or cleaning, describe what you are doing. For example, I'm cutting vegetables. I'm walking to the bus. I'm washing the dishes. This makes English a natural part of your daily routine. Habit number 3. Use shadowing practice. Shadowing means listening to a short piece of English, maybe a podcast, a video, or even a TV show, and then repeating it immediately, almost at the same time. This helps your brain copy the rhythm, tone, and speed of native speakers. It's like training your brain and mouth together. Habit number 4. Write short notes or keep a journal in English. You don't need to write an essay. Just write 1 or 2 sentences about your day. For example, Today was sunny. I studied English for 20 minutes. I felt happy. Writing in English helps you think directly in English and remember vocabulary better. Habit number 5. Surround yourself with English. If you want your brain to think in English, give it more English input. Change your phone language to English. Listen to English podcasts while walking. Watch short YouTube videos in English. Even a few minutes every day can make a big difference. The secret is this: consistency is more important than perfection. You don't need to practice for 3 hours every day. Even 10 or 15 minutes of these habits can slowly train your brain to think in English. So remember, think in English, talk to yourself, shadow native speakers, write short notes, and surround yourself with English. If you practice these daily, your brain will begin to switch naturally to English thinking. All right, now let's talk about vocabulary and phrases. If you want to think in English, you need the right words ready in your brain. The good news is, you don't need thousands of big or difficult words. What you need is simple, everyday English. Think about it. Most of the time, you use the same small words in daily life. Words like eat, go, want, need, like today, tomorrow, yesterday, happy, tired, busy. These words help you make many sentences. So, here's what you can do. Instead of learning long lists of vocabulary with translations, focus on phrases you can use every day. For example, I'm hungry, I'm tired, let's go, I don't know. What time is it? See you tomorrow. These are small phrases, but they are very powerful. Why? Because you can use them many times in real life. And the more you use them, the faster your brain will think in English. Here's a tip. Create your own phrase bank. Write down 10 or 20 short phrases you use often in your life. Practice saying them every day. Soon, you won't need to translate. You will just think and say them directly in English. For example, instead of thinking in your language, estoy cansado, I'm tired, you will immediately think, I'm tired. This is the habit we want to build. So remember, learn small, useful words and phrases. Practice them daily. Build your phrase bank. This will give your brain the tools it needs to think in English naturally. Now, let's talk about listening. Listening is one of the best ways to train your brain to think in English. Why? Because when you listen, you don't only hear words, you also hear rhythm, tone, and natural speed. When you listen often, your brain begins to understand English directly, without translation. For example, if you hear the phrase, "How's it going?" Many times, you don't need to stop and think, "What does this mean in my language?" You just know it means, "How are you?" Here are a few tips for listening practice. Tip number 1. Listen every day, even for a short time. You don't need to listen for hours. Even 10 minutes while you walk, cook, or relax is enough. The key is daily practice. Tip number 2. Choose simple and interesting content. If it's too difficult, you will get tired. If it's boring, you will stop. Choose something you enjoy. Short podcasts, YouTube videos, songs, or TV shows. Tip number 3. Repeat and shadow. Don't just listen one time. Listen again. Then try to copy the speaker. This is shadowing. It helps your brain and mouth work together in English. Remember, listening is not only about understanding, it's about training your brain. The more English you hear, the faster your brain will connect words and phrases without needing translation. So, listen every day, keep it simple, and repeat often. This habit will make thinking in English feel much more natural. All right, now let's make things very practical. I want to give you a simple daily routine that you can follow to train your brain to think in English. You don't need hours, you just need small steps during the day. In the morning, when you wake up, think about your plans in English. For example, today I have work. I will meet my friend. I will study English for 20 minutes. Start the day with English thoughts. In the afternoon, while you are doing something, describe it in English. For example, I'm walking to the shop. I'm cooking lunch. I'm reading a book. This makes English part of your daily life. In the evening, take 2 or 3 minutes to review your day in English. You can say it out loud or write it in a notebook. For example, today was busy. I met my friend. We had coffee together. I felt happy. This simple routine only takes a few minutes, but if you do it every day, your brain will slowly learn to think in English without translation. Before we finish today's episode, let me give you a few final tips. First, remember that training your brain to think in English takes time. Be patient with yourself. Don't expect big changes in one day. Small, daily practice is the secret. Second, don't be afraid of mistakes. Mistakes are not failure. They are proof that you are learning and growing. And finally, be consistent. Even 10 minutes of practice every day is more powerful than 2 hours once a week. So, my friends, start today. Use the simple habits we talked about. Live in English, think in English, and step by step, you will become more fluent and more confident. Thank you for listening to the English Learning Podcast. I'm Henry, and I'll see you in the next episode. Keep practicing and keep believing in yourself.